So I've just gotten back from MagicCon Amsterdam. You can almost see it there in the background behind us. It was an enormous event, much larger than I did expect. They basically had 3 halls at the size of this one. So this is the ticket booth hall, where you basically pay money to play in various different tournaments, like Modern, Pioneer and the Pro Tour, etc. You might have seen the Pro Tour live streamed from this event. And then this was the other hall where you had... Oh, you can actually see the live stream up there in the edge of the hall. And then some other sellers and people playing just Magic and casual. They even had this big constructed structure. That was a thematic. I have to say I liked it. But my favorite part of all of this was that they arranged casual social play, no money to play whatsoever. I don't have a picture of it, but you basically took a flag that either had social, challenge or competitive, and it all indicated commander. Like it was called the command zone. Once again, you can actually see it just above my head, command zone, and you took one of those flags and you sat down on some table and you waited for someone to just arrive and say, yeah, I want to play that kind of game as well. I thought this was perfect because it arranged the perfect Rule 0 discussion so that you don't accidentally have competitive players and social commander players playing against each other. And as you can see, it was well packed. It was just one big problem. All of us competitive players got really spread out. So Pontus had an idea that we were gonna make our own CEDH tournament event. No prizes to enter, it was free to enter, and no prize reward. But I would love to give a big shout out to Ultimate Guard for sponsoring our little small community tournament. They basically said, here are some free products. They gave us a playmat for the winner and some other cool stuff. And then Def Magic was actually kind enough to donate some boosters to the game tournament as well. So it was a free to enter tournament, but suddenly we had some prizes. So once again, I would like to give a shout out to Def Magic. Link in the description below of his YouTube channel. He's showcasing cEDH gameplay content and sometimes some box openings. As well as giving a big thank you to Ultimate Guard as well. Now when me and Pontus theorized around this tournament event, we thought we were going to get something like 8 to 12 players, but we actually got a total count of 24 participants. Kinda happy about that. Now most of this was just on the fly, so people really didn't have a deck list, so as you can see here, unknown commander, but I can say that the winner was playing Sisay Weatherlight Captain with 4 wins, 0 losses. Pontus played Tumna Dargo, and I played Sisay Weatherlight Captain. This winner, Sisay build, was basically the typical Planeswalker, very heavy on the Planeswalker, trying to turbo that Sisay victory. And then we had this Kenrith build that I disliked playing against. Just joking, this guy is amazing. Playing Kenrith the Returned King. His build is ultra mid-range, with lots of values like Talion, a god of the Wild Cauldron, Kinnan, Esper, Selvala Heart of the Wilds, Displacer Kitten, and of course things like the One Ring. And hell, Smothering Tide as well. And yes, Survival of the Fittest. Really good inside Kenrith. That's the crazy mid-range Kenrith player, and this is the winner with the Sisay Weatherlight Captain 4 wins. Sadly, we don't have a deck list from him. As I mentioned, the entire tournament was very spontaneous. But big congratulations, Sisay victory, nice! Now I was playing Sisay Necro with the new update of Necro Dominance, so I'm only playing Teferi as the only Planeswalker, so my Sisay build and the winner Sisay build are quite different. I'm going for more of a multi-potential plan, so I can play the typical Sisay game plan, or I can pivot into a Necro victory, either tutoring for the Necro Potence you see there on the screen, or tutoring for Necro Dominance. Now it's a new build, so there's a lot of experiments to make sure that the recipe and the deck flow is functional. And as you can see from my face and wrapping up my deck, the deck build is not perfect functional yet, but it's getting there. I really like the promise result that I got from it, and I want to point out that I would have performed better in the tournament if I had more experience with this combo and more practice with it, but I accidentally mis-executed it during the tournament, so didn't turn out great. It kind of felt a little bit embarrassing. We don't need to go into details. But I messed up a tiny bit. But I think it's going to be improved upon with more gameplay and more experiments with it. Initial thoughts on Necrodominance and Caesar, I think it's going to be really good. It is definitely showcasing some promise. Overall, me and Pontus, or Pontus mostly, he should be the one taking credit for all of this. He arranged everything digitally, where I was just running around telling people about our awesome upcoming community tournament. But I think this is going to be something we might do again. Because once again, a big problem in the command zone structure is that all the competitive players got spread out in various different locations. And what we wanted to do is basically bring all of us together into one place. So everyone you see here is from that tournament, that 24 players. And we basically got our own little area where we got to execute our own games for ourselves. Other content creators also showed up. Bear has a live stream from Brazil in Brazil time zones. Link in the description below of this video as well. He actually shows up on some of our gameplay videos as well now and then. So it's actually cool to actually high-five each other. I mean, it is kind of strange that you're talking to someone across the world, across the basically Atlantic, and now suddenly you get to see them face to face. So there was a lot of different high fives with lots of different people. And even some content creation deck tech videos on the fly, on spot. This guy has a live stream of CEDH and some casual gameplay. And many more other content creators at location as well. But I think that if we are going to go to a tournament, or no, to an event like a Pro Tour again in the future, I think what we figured out that this is very functional and executable, and all you really need to do is just talk to a bunch of players you run into at the event and try to just gather people into a day and time and a location where you can run a simple community tournament of sorts. So I think this is something me and Pontus might try to do in the future if it just comes into schedule. Other things that happened on location were, of course, a bunch of mercs. It is a little bit big. It's a little bit hard to showcase on this one. Here we go. As you can see, quite wide. Like, yeah, really wide. I do like art. I really like art, but I don't really like paintings. I don't like to have paintings on the wall, but you can fold it up into this, which makes it take up a lot less space. Personally, I like purchasing playmats because of that. Now, I don't recommend purchasing playmats because there's no really good return value on them, usually. Like, you can purchase a magic card and the likelihood of that magic card going up is usually pretty okay. And it's kind of easy to actually sell magic cards compared to selling playmats. However, lots of different mercs all over the place in general. And people giving you hugs for purchasing their mercs. I'm just kidding. Absolutely awesome people that have been inside the Magic the Gathering history for quite a while. And an opportunity to actually say hi to them. I mean, apparently people wanted to say hi to me. Another important part is the beauty of Amsterdam. And this will be different depending on what kind of country the Pro Tour will be in. But I have to say that I'm very impressed about the Amsterdam look that I received. Now, I might be a little bit biased because I do love bikes, I do love bike culture, and I have to say that I do enjoy really long and wide bike lanes. And Amsterdam is definitely a bike capital. We had a very beautiful park that we walked through getting to the event. Even Pontus was happy. I really hope I get to do one of these again in the future. I don't know when, as they can be pseudo expensive. I mean, traveling is kind of expensive, hotels are expensive and such. But it's awesome to actually get to say hi to people that you've talked with across internet and just hanging out in general. For example, I found these three guys on my way back on the airport and even had a random casual game with 3 strangers. By the way, these guys weren't that far away from being like in a competitive almost area. I mean, you can see a mana crypt up there, so yeah. Regardless, I have to say that I'm giving the Pro Tour Magic the Gathering Amsterdam MagicCon a double thumbs up. It was a really fantastic event. I think they did a really good job of making it something good for everyone. And we will see when I get to do one again, and hopefully at that time we will be probably doing the same kind of community not casual but community competitive tournament once more. That's what I've been up to and why I've been a little bit less active on the channel. But I'm back. I'm back to business of making data statistics on the various cEDH tournaments again. Finally, I have contributed into one of those cEDH tournaments. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and maybe one day we will high five in reality. Who knows? The world is in the end a very small place.